Louis XIV, King of France, also known as the Sun King, he ruled for 72 years, the longest reign in European history. In 1643, before his fifth birthday, his father died, and Louis inherited the crown of France. He led in a series of wars and he expanded France. Louis XIV was born September 5th, 1936. His parents are Louis XIII and Anna of Austria. When Louis XIII died, Louis XIV took the throne on May 14th, 1643, at only 4 years old. His mother became regent, ruling France in his place. He was assisted by Jules Cardinal Mazarin, the Italian financier who had been the principal minister of Louis XIII. Mazarin had guided the nation through the later stages of the 30-Year War. Louis then married Maria Theresa, the eldest daughter of King Philip IV of Spain. Mazarin died in 1661, so Louis announced that he would not appoint a new chief minister. Instead, he would govern the realm by himself. He intended to rule as an absolute monarch. When French colonies were growing in size, Louis reinforced a Gallicanism, limiting the authority of the Pope in France. Louis began to diminish the power of the nobility and the clergy. The Pope was not allowed to send papal legates, which is to take charge in religious effort. Bishops were not allowed to leave France without the royal approbation. Louis attempted to increase his influence over the church. In foreign affairs, the young Louis XIV launched the War of Devolution against the Spanish Netherlands. Louis turned next against the United Provinces of the Netherlands in the Third Anglo-Dutch War. Louis gained more territories and took control of more land. Louis's queen, Maria Theresa, died in 1683. She gave birth to 6 children, but only one survived to adulthood. Louis believed that in order to achieve absolute power, you had to first achieve a religiously unified nation, specifically a Catholic one. Louis continued his attempt to achieve a religiously united France by issuing an edict. In September 1688, Louis sent French troops into the Palatinate, hoping he would disrupt his enemies who had formed the League of Augsburg against him. Then Louis was drawn into the disastrous War of the Spanish Succession. Many European powers feared that if either France or the Holy Roman Empire took control of Spain, the balance of power in Europe would be threatened. Louis XIV and William III signed the Second Treaty, allowing Archduke Charles to take Spain, Low Countries, and the Spanish colonies. Louis XIV's son, Louis de France and Dauphin de Venus, would inherit the territories in Italy. Louis XIV died on September 1st, 1715. Then Louis XV, his 5-year-old grandson, took the throne. Louis XIV, the Sun King, put France in a dominant position in Europe. His reign was from 1643 to 1715. He began at the age of 4 and lasted 72 years, 3 months, and 18 days. That is the longest documented reign of any European monarch. Louis began personally governing France in 1661 after the death of his prime minister, the Italian Cardinal Mazarin. Louis wanted to bring prosperity to France. Even though his plan did not bring prosperity, he was still a great ruler. He loved arts and literature. Louis fought in many wars, and he was even compared to Julius Caesar because he called his reign an eternally memorable age. He constructed a beautiful palace of Versailles. He will always, we will always remember Louis XIV and his legacy. My opinion on Louis XIV is that I think he was a good ruler, but his dad died when he was way too young. He was only 4 years old. And even though he ruled for 72 years, I still think he would have done better because his dad would have got him a lot of help and could have gave him great advice because he was experienced and he knows his right from wrongs. And I also like that his strategy with the church reducing the power of the Pope, because if you have another person who has as much power or more, you aren't looked upon as high